It's Greg Wells from Raymarine, and I'm now going to show you some of the sailing features that we have on the Axiom Lighthouse 4 operating system. First of all, I'm going to show you about ley lines. So to set up ley lines on a boat, the first thing you need to do is to go into the appropriate race screen. So within the chart you have different modes. You have the normal navigate modes, but for the purposes of this we use the racing mode. Click on that, and now we're in the racing mode. You now have your boat displayed with some interesting vectors: your course over ground, your speed over ground, and your tide and wind. Within the settings of that screen you have, down into the settings, another option here called Ley Lines. And the first thing you must do is set your angles for upwind and downwind. We're cruising on a boat today, it's light winds, our angles are going to be 51 degrees or thereabouts. You could, if you wish, and you had a racing boat, you could change this and use the boat's polars, which come from the manufacturers. You can choose your boat from a whole load of list, and it will put in the appropriate ley lines for that boat in any given wind condition. Okay, having set those ley lines, I'll go back to what we had, fixed angles, and we're on a sail cruiser, and you can adjust also for tides. For the purpose of this exercise I won't, but that's what you can do, so it takes in the effect of tides as well. You can now see that we have these red and green angles as we're sailing upwind, and the boat is sailing as it should be along the red angle on port tack. You can see also we have the starboard tack, which will be the ley line if you were to tack onto the other side. And shortly, when we get nearer the shore here, we will be tacking, and you'll see how that works. If I put in a go-to or a waypoint, it will then take those waypoints. So we could say we're going to this hook mark, and I put that as my go-to. You can now see that the ley line has formed. I'll take that data screen off. A trapezoid showing you where you're currently heading and where you need to get to be able to lay that waypoint, in this case the mark near hook. The big graphs here are showing that we've got a very shifty northerly, and this triangle that you've got there is giving you the first opportunity to lay based on the wind, or where you need to go to make sure you will lay should the wind shift right round to the left or right. Very simple ley lines. Following on from our ley lines, we're now going to go into a tack, so you can see how the ley lines will show where we're heading on starboard tack. And there you see now we've tacked, and we're now heading down the starboard ley line. And where we would need to get to be able to get to our planned point. Worth mentioning also about the vectors that are displayed here. So we have a black one which is your heading, and your blue one which is your speed over ground. The purple one here is the tide, where it's moving us at the moment, and obviously the wind, as we're coming onto it, is just slightly off our sort of starboard side. Those vectors you can actually change quite easily. You click onto the boat, and then you click, and then the options for the vectors come up. So you can turn heading off, cog off, or you can change the vector's period of time to infinite vectors. Now they go on forever, which can be quite useful if you're trying to spot whether you're going around a headland or something like that. Or you can just make them a timed vector, which is what we usually use, by turning infinite off and then selecting a time. In this case we've got 12 minutes, we could go to 6 minutes. Then turn off your tide and wind as well here, turn them on or off. That's how you set up your vectors. Very simple. Now you can see we're going downwind, and the angles now are depicted by the orange square, and it's wind's flicking around a lot at the moment, but it's given us our optimal angle downwind. And again, you've got the wind shift history of when we should be jibing to our chosen waypoint. We can show that again on the dual screen with chart and dashboard. To bring up the wind rows once again, showing you where the notches should be in true wind, and here Roger's got it absolutely spot on for the angle. And that's downwind ley lines to help you make sure you're sailing your boat at your best performance in any given wind strength.